Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, a spectacular watch from Zenith. It's the Chronomaster El Primero Grande full open, and it is all of those things. 45 millimeters in diameter, this watch is stainless steel and rose gold and elaborately complicated. You can see that the timepiece measures a substantial 16 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 54 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw this watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and I think we're approaching the limit of my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. I recommend you have a wrist of at least 17 centimeters circumference or larger to wear this sizable and weighty watch. You can see it's also quite thick. It's not going to slip underneath the conventional cuff, but if you have a wrist large enough to wear this watch, your cuff probably will be able to surmount the timepiece. The strap is high-grade, large rectangular scale alligator leather in dark brown with a monotone stitch, a sheer side that shows the layers of leather, and then, as Zenith likes to do, there is a rubber inlay on the bottom to separate the leather from the moisture, sweat, heat, and grit of the wrist so it lasts longer. You can see this is a brand new Zenith factory strap as well. The scales are particularly large and symmetrical, which indicates an exceptionally high-grade cut of alligator leather. We have a buckle with a little satinated buckle contrasted with polish and a Zenith star. Twin trigger release. You have to press them in, and to press them for this to open, it will not pop open. You can see internally they're using spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps, so over time it retains its tight tolerances. It's not going to become ropey or loose, as the steel cannot wear down the ceramic. The Chronomaster case here is quite distinctive. You can see a somewhat curved flank that's all of high polish. There's a bevel on the end of the lug. The lug is somewhat downturned with a sort of inverse ducktail and a squared off end. Satin across the top. We have a bezel with two facets. One is vertical, one is narrowly conical, and it's all rose gold. We have pump-style pushers and a Zenith star on the crown. We also have a little kerf underneath the crown so you can more easily dig your nail in to operate the watch. And take note, though the watch is somewhat formal in appearance, it is 100 meters water resistant. On the dial side we have layers. Let's start with the crystal. It is dramatically boxed. This is an expensive sapphire. Taking a look at the minutes and seconds track outboard, you'll appreciate, and we'll start up the chrono there, that we have a track for reading the resolution of the El Primero, and it is a 1/10 of a second resolution. The watch features a grand date, or a big date, and of course we set dates in the outermost crown position on El Primero movements. So you see that there is a, just demonstrate how this works, there is a quick set mechanism so you can rapidly cycle the double date. That's right there, grand date. Now, much more going on. We have a hybrid day-night indicator and moon phase, right? If you want to set the time on an El Primero, the intermediate position. So take a look at the moon phase. You can see the moon is not moving dramatically, but the sky and the stars behind the moon will transition every 24 hours. So Zenith has answered the question of how you can make a moon phase, which is a relatively static complication, a little bit more dynamic, and this is how they did it. We have a lovely minutes and hours track outboard with a satination across its silvered surface. You can also see that it's beveled internally. We have rose gold plated applique indices and rose gold plated hands at center. We have a constant seconds display. We have a chronograph minutes display. There's an applied Zenith star, and what you're actually looking at is a second sapphire underneath the primary sapphire, on which the star, the logo, and the scales are all located. Now, the movement is beautifully finished on the dial side, which is not universal on El Primeros, but this one is made to be seen on the dial side of the watch. Taking a quick look, you can see underneath we have a visible escapement. So the open dial was one of the innovations from the 2000s that most people loved. Zenith did a lot with unconventional and controversial styling innovations back then under CEO and designer Terry Nataf. And the open dial that shows you the escapement, the drivetrain, and the balance proved to be one of the most influential and enduring, including in Zenith's own line. So by creating skeletonized bridges, they're able to reveal on this caliber 4047 7, the terminal end of the drivetrain, the escapement, which here is in silicon and unlubricated, and the balance and the hairspring assembly. It's basically 90% of the appeal of a tourbillon for 10% of the price. Taking a look at the reverse side. By the way, let's do a loom shot first, just so you can see this watch in the dark. It is quite well loomed. On the reverse side, you can better see the other aspects of the 4047 version of the El Primero. You can see the iridescent purple-blue of that unlubricated, anti-magnetic, high-efficiency, low-friction silicon escapement. It's a bidirectional winder with a 50-hour power reserve. It beats away at the El Primero's historic 36,000 vibrations per hour. It is a column wheel lateral clutch chrono. You can see the lateral clutch right there. Now it's away. Now it's engaged, now it's away, now it's engaged. The column wheel, the horns, levers, the recentering hammers, all of that is visible here. So the El Primero has always been a very open and handsome automatic chronograph. Not every automatic chronograph is, as the work often gets buried underneath the rotor and winding bridges. Here you can see all of it. It's nicely finished with nickel, anthracite, and silver tones for a handsome industrial cool. Taking a quick look, it's important to remember that this movement hails from the original El Primero of 1969, which became the first integrated high-beat automatic chronograph and still exists to this day as one of the most enduring reference points in high horology. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.